When you think about Australia, what kind of animals come to your mind? Maybe kangaroos, dingoes, but what about koalas? Koalas are one of the most famous and native animals to Australia. But do you know exactly where koalas live? Koalas live in the southeastern and eastern parts of Australia. They live in very big open areas full of eucalyptus leaves, and they tend to live mostly on top of the trees because for them being on the ground, they're very vulnerable to dangers and predators. Koalas tend to live in colony like environments with other koalas, and there's usually one koala per tree. Koalas are herbivores, so that means that they only eat plants. They mainly feed on the eucalyptus leaf, which is the same tree where they live in, but they also eat different quantities of type of their leaves that are found in the area, and they eat other stuff such as flowers, termites, and apples. You may think you know how a koala looks like, but they have many different and cool characteristics which helps them adapt to their habitat. For example, they have their hands and feet are adapted for curling and hanging onto three branches, and they have two opposing thumbs to increase their grip. Another cool characteristic about koalas is that they have very sharp claws to dig into the bark so they don't fall while they're on top of the tree or while they're climbing. And they have very special toes. For example, they have two toes, which is really two of them fused together, and they use this toe for grooming. And they have another toe that doesn't have a claw, and they use it for like to grip onto like leaves and branches and such. They also have very strong arm and shoulder muscles, and this is because koalas can climb up to 150 feet, and they're very solitary animals. They're loners. Yes, they do live with other koalas, but they kind of tend to stay on their own trees. And they're mainly active at night, and they usually spend about 20 hours sleeping, which is very surprising because it means that they sleep the whole entire day and they're only up for about maybe 4 hours at night. And koalas are considered marsupials, which means that female koalas have a little pouch on them, and that's where they carry their baby. Other type of marsupials would be kangaroos, and the only one that's found here in North America would be the possum. So that's kind of like the koala's cousin, if you want to think about it like that. And due to common misconception, a lot of people think they're bears. You might hear people call them koala bears. They are not. They are marsupials. Koalas usually have a lifespan of 12 to 18 years. In captivity, they might live actually a little lower in the wilderness, and they are usually between 2 to 3 feet tall, so they're not that tall, and they can weigh up to 25 pounds. And scientists say that they have one of the smallest brain to body weight ratios, and this makes them not very small animals, unfortunately. Koalas are also considered vulnerable, and what this means is that they are in danger of endangerment due to habitat destruction, domestic dog attacks, and bushfires. Actually, the Australian Koala Foundation estimated there are less than 100,000 koalas left in the wild, possibly as few as 43,000 of them. And currently in Australia, there is no legislation in the country that protects them from dangers or protects their habitat, so that makes them even go more down in numbers. It's estimated that over 4,000 koalas are killed each year for cars and dog accidents. And in a bushfire, a whole colony of them can be wiped out in a single fire. Another big factor in their endangerment and their vulnerable state is disease. Koalas are very vulnerable to chlamydia, especially the female koalas. About 80% of them, of female koalas, have chlamydia, and some of the symptoms are blindness, pneumonia, and UTI. This also reduces their chances of survival. And lastly, some fun facts about koalas is that koalas have fingerprints, kind of like us humans. They're actually the only animal other than primates to have them, and just like us, they have many different shapes, and each of them are unique. And they also have different and unique nose patterns. And actually, name koala translates to no water or no drink. And Durag is an Australian Aboriginal language. And it was believed back then that koalas didn't need to drink any water at all because they would get their moisture from the leaves that they eat. But they actually do generally eat, especially during heat waves. And koala fossils have been found in Australia that date back to 20 million years ago. So koalas have been around for a pretty long time. And it is illegal in the US to keep a koala as a pet, but there are exceptions such as zoos, scientists, and certain people can actually keep them as temporary, but not as pets. It's just in case they're injured or sick or anything like that. So in conclusion, koalas are very important for the ecosystem. They help woodlands grow and they increase biodiversity. And I hope you guys really enjoy my speech and you guys learn a lot of things about koalas and have a great day.